Shalom, Ko Halo, Yahweh Bashim Nawashai, Bahasham Rakar Kudash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops, salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners among the heathens that look like the heathens. And to the Akwath that are listening and learning, to you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you another lesson in truth. And I'm going to get on a topic that's being talked about a lot among the prophets, among the apostles, and among the men of the Lord. And that's about how the wicked will not understand. All right. And that these Christians, and a lot of these Christians are very wicked, but they're not the wicked. So you don't even understand that. The wicked is actually Esau, Edom. But we're just going to point out how the scholars, all right, teach a different doctrine from Christianity. And then if you really read, you'll see that the prophets line up mostly with what the scholars say. Because you'll just find, and I just find it funny, I'm on the Zondervan's Compact Dictionary Bible, Babylon from Timbuktu popped up, and it's also the Apocrypha, which some Christians try to deny. Even though there are, I have 3 different Bibles, actually 4, because it's also in the King James, but in the King James Bible and in other, I have the Geneva Bible, and I have an Oxford Bible that all have the Apocrypha, and in those Bibles, the Oxford one is actually a study Bible with the Apocrypha. And in those Bibles, there are precepts that take you to the Apocrypha. So all this denying the Apocrypha, and that's all to, because with the Apocrypha in place, Christianity can't be. The Apocrypha is the nemesis, the kryptonite to the lies that has been propagated by, plantation colonial Christianity. But let's talk about, let's go to the book of Daniel, just for starts, all right? Just to give you an idea how the Christians want to understand. And so what you have to send in, the men that are doing this, especially the men of the Great Millstone and the brothers that teach the likewise doctrine, they're the prophets back. So the Lord told you, he told you in his word that his prophets will return at the last days, and only they would understand. That's what Amos 3 and 7 is about. But let's go to Daniel 12, and I'm going to start at verse 10, and it reads, "Many shall be purified and made white and tried," and white just means pure, not as in color, all right? "But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. And from time to time daily sacrifice shall be taken away, an abomination that maketh desolate set up, and there shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he that waiteth, and come to the 3,105 and 30 days. But go thy way till the end come. For thou shalt rest, and stand in thy lot at the end of days." So the Lord was telling him there's a period of time, basically, when you go to the spirit world, when you come back. All right? I'm pretty sure that's in Exodus somewhere where it talks about to the 3rd and 4th generation. Every 3rd to 4th generation, we come back. We regenerate. And you regenerate in your lot. You're not going to be a 2/3 one life and then be a 1/3 the next life. You're not going to be Japhet one life and then be Shem the next life. That's not how it works. Right? You come back in your lot. All right? You're going to do exactly what you did. That's why history repeats itself. The same people come back, and then they repeat the same things that they did in the ancient times. All right? Let's go to Ezekiel, to the book of Ezekiel. I'm going to the 2nd chapter, and I'm going to start the 9th verse. And it reads, "And when I looked, and behold, and a hand was set upon me, and lo, a roll and a book was written," speaking about the Bible, all right? "And he spread it before me, and in it was written within and without, and there was written therein lamentations, mourning, and woe." All right? Lamentations means suffering. Woe means suffering, death, destruction. That's what the Bible is about. All right? It's not just some happy book. It's full of dark sayings. All right? Dark sayings, lamentation, and woe. All right? And the men of the Lord are going to bring it out, both the bitter and with the sweet. Okay? As a matter of fact, let's go to Revelation. Because it's beautiful once you wake up, but then it's bitter. All right? This is Revelation 10. And I'm going to start at the 10th verse. And it reads, "And I took the little book out of the angel's hand." See, this is matching right up to Ezekiel. All right? "And ate it," meaning he read it. All right? He consumed it. "And it was in my mouth sweet as honey. But as soon as I had eaten it," because he didn't physically eat it, and Christians will say that he did. All right? See, they don't understand when things are is a metaphor, or or when it's not. Okay? And it said, "And as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. And he said unto me, Thou must prophesy again before many nations and tongues and kings." This was an angel talking to John. John the Revelator was given this revelation to write the book of Revelation of the things that would happen in the last days. And then he was told that John died on the island of Patmos, an old man. All right? He never left the island of Patmos. He died there. There's no record of John going to another part of the world. And what's the uttermost part of the world? Many nations, all right? Here in America. And when we prophesy, I've seen my own channel in like several different languages. I've seen it in Chinese, in Arabic, in Czechoslovakian, in Russian, all right, in Korean, in Japanese. All right, so we're prophesying to the world, the men of the Lord. All right. But I'm going to read it again. "And he said unto me, Thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings." All right. So he prophesied. John is back now. All right. John is among the men of the Lord doing the work of the Lord, and the wicked, they do not understand. They scoff at this. So when we say that because they made all these scoffing videos because the elder apostle Tahar said that we know more than the prophets. Well, we are the prophets. This show you how beautiful, how the majesty and power of Yahweh, that he would have us write down messages that we had no clue what we were writing down, only to give us the understanding of it at the end of days. He said he will call forth the apostles last. So the end has to come. So the apostles have to be here. Everyone, even the wacky tacky Christians, will agree that we're in the end of days. They'll agree with that much. Okay? So now that we've got that out of the way, let me close this door. Let's go to some of those prophecies that they don't understand, or that they just choose to ignore, because there's a little bit of both. All right? It's a little bit of both. Some they don't understand, and some just don't go with their narrative, with the lie. It's just too painful to teach the truth. The truth is too scary, too painful, so they just teach their lies. And they try to write themselves into something that they aren't a part of. But we're going to go to the Zondervans, hence the reason why it's on the screen. I'm going to go to page 142. I'm close, 137. And we're going to read the portion about Edom. All right? Because Christianity teaches that the Edomites were done away with. But here in this book, it says right here, I'm going to read this paragraph, then I'm going to read all these scriptures that's connected to it. All right? But it says, Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as a scene of future judgments. See notably Isaiah 34 and 5 and 6, Isaiah 61, not just 61, but 61 through 4. She is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from God. All right? So, they'll just read John 3:16 and then and just say that the whole world, God so loved the world, and not give the breakdown and the understanding. right? You know, I was taught coming into this truth to look up the meaning of words. Hence the reason why you have the blue letter Bible. All right. Every word in the Bible is numbered and has either a Greek meaning or stemming from the Latin, or it has a Hebrew meaning. So John 3:16 is in the New Testament. So you go to the Greek. And when you go to there, you'll find that the word world is used in three different ways, mostly in the Bible. It's either going to say oikoumene, which means the whole inhabited earth, all the people. All right. It's going to say world, meaning an age, an eon. All right. A time, a period of time, which is usually about 1,000 years. And then it's going to say cosmos, which is an orderly arrangement. All right. Which is talking about the Israelites, the order, the laws, that orderly arrangement. Well, John 3:16 isn't oikoumene, so it's not talking about the whole world. It's not talking about an age. It's talking about the Israelites. And the kryptonite to John 3:16, all right, because everyone knows it, so I'm not even going to read it. I'm just going to read John 17:9, all right, because that's as soon as they say that, then that's it. They blurt out and scream out John 3:16. I tell them, I read John 17:9 and say, please explain. And usually you just get an argument. They don't want to explain because now usually they've never read it and they don't know what to say after that. But this is John 17:9, and it says, I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but unto them which thou hast given me, for they are thine. So who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ just said he prays not for the world, but for them. Who's the them? The them is the cosmos. All right? Once again, I'll read it again. I pray for them. Who's the them? I pray not for the world. So what that says very plainly is that John 3:16 cannot mean what Christian said it means. You can't say for God so loved the world, and then he turns around and says, I pray not for the world. The Lord is not the author of confusion. All right? He's not. Okay? So let's get on these scriptures that speak about Edom in the end of days and the judgment that's going to come upon them upon the return of the Lord. All right? Because the Edomites are still here. The earth is given into their hands. The Edomites are the wicked. So who's been controlling the earth? All right? Since 1492, since the rebirth, which proves there was a break in their rulership. So they had to rise up again. They had to rebuild the desolate places. All right? That will be Esau, Edom. Job 9:24. And it's amazing, in that which says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, they covered the faces of the judges thereof. They covered up the true judges and put their faces up. That's why you have, false images of the Lord and of the Israelites and imposters in the land of Israel and all this other stuff. The imposters is the kings of Europe. Imposters is the actual inhabitants of Europe. The inhabitants of Europe were melanated dark people, all right? Black people, if you would, a different race. Yeah, because everybody so-called black is all skin folk ain't the same folk. That's another lie that they told and mixed it with science. That's pseudoscience. But in these future prophecies, it talks about smoldering hatred between the Judeans and the Edomites. And it says, see Psalms 137 and 7. So let's read that. Let's read Psalms 137. And then it also has Ezekiel 25, 12 through 14. One of my favorite sets of scriptures. But let's go to Psalms 137. And start at verse 7 and read to the end. And it reads, remember, O Yahweh, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. So we know that the Edomites were there saying, burn it down, burn it down. That's what raise it means. All right. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. So it just put the Edomites in Babylon. Most Bible scholars and most Bible people will say that America is Babylon. Most scholars will definitely agree with that. All right. So it just placed Edom in Babylon, the daughter of Babylon, not ancient Babylon. That's why you'll get some ignorant people say that the Edomites are Arabs. No, daughter of Babylon. All right. And it says, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. That hasn't happened yet. Edomites, little ones, they're infants, and their small ones are gonna get dashed against the stones. The same is, and the Lord said, "Happy shall he be." That's some of those dark sayings, that lamentation and woe. When you're gonna snatch Edomite babies by their feet and sling them head first into the walls, so their heads explode and their brains fly all over the place. That's what the scripture said, not me. This is in the Bible. All right. But that clearly hasn't happened yet. That is a future prophecy. Okay? The scholars say that they're future prophecies. Let's go to Isaiah 25. And they keep pushing that lie that the Edomites are done away with because Edom doesn't want to pay for what they've done. All right? And they definitely don't want to let their people know that they're Edom. But that's kind of like, it's too late, because I would probably say probably a good portion of them have heard this. Majority of them. Some know it, or the many of them do know it, especially the elites, the very well educated ones. It's the ones that they blinded with, with the science of, remember that song, Blinded Me with Science? Pseudoscience and religion is a part of that. But those that don't know, they're going to learn. They're going to learn. But this is Ezekiel 25:12, and it reads, "Thus saith the Lord power, because that Edom have dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and have greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore thus saith the Lord power, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it most desolate from Teman and to Dedan. And they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. And they shall do in Edom according to my anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord." And then you have people, these wacky-tacky Christians, who don't want to acknowledge the Apocrypha, but then try to use the Apocrypha to say that Edom was done away with. All right? And that's a lie, because when the Apocrypha, when the events that were taking place in the Apocrypha was the southern kingdom only, the northern kingdom wasn't there. It said by the hand of my people Israel. It didn't say the kingdom of Judah. So it wasn't just Judah, Benjamin, and the remnant of Levi that did this. This is going to be all of Israel that's going to put Edom to an end with great slaughter. All right? That's prophecy that has not happened yet. That would mean that everybody that's in the land of Israel would have to be all 12 tribes, and then Edom would have been done away with, and there would be evidence of that. You can exterminate 1 billion people off the earth, and there'd be no bones, no skeletons, no, nothing. If that had happened, there would be books and movies and, and all kinds of stuff about it, but it hasn't happened. Okay? So what's the next scripture that they said, future prophecies? They mentioned Isaiah 34:5-6, and then Isaiah 63. So let's get those. Let's go to Isaiah. (34, 5, and 6). And it reads, "For my sword shall be bathed in heaven, and behold, it shall come down upon Idumea," which is a Greek way of saying Edom, which is how you know they tampered with the Bible, "and upon the people of my curse to judgment." Esau is cursed. All right, they're blessed because they got this. They got the blessing of this current, present evil earth, but now the time is up. All right. And it says, "And the sword of Yahweh shall be filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and it with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat and the kidneys of rams. For the Yahweh have a sacrifice in Basra with great slaughter in the land of Idumea." Idumea is going to be used as a sacrifice to appease the wrath of the Lord. All right, that hasn't happened yet. Okay. When he comes and takes them out of power, that's when it's going to happen. And then it explains it even further in Isaiah 63. Because in Isaiah 63, it clearly tells you that who the world ignorantly and fraudulently called Jesus Christ is coming back to a world that is ruled by the Edomites. The Edomites are in rulership. All right. And this is a prophecy of the Lord's return. So the Christians have lied, trying to hide who they are. All right. That much we do understand. Okay. They understood enough to know that they were Edom to try to hide that they were. All right. This is Isaiah 63:1. Who is this that cometh from Edom, with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth the wine fat? I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in my anger, and trample them in my fury. And their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. The Lord is going to redeem his true children, the Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, and the scattered of our people among the other nations. All right, he's going to draw people out of those nations where they're scattered to. All right, and then he's going to annihilate the Edomites. And that time is close at hand. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, Lord, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakar Kodash, Wa Abba Babal, Kwam Yasharala, Shalom.